The worst thing any athlete can go through is having to quit midway during a game. It can genuinely be heartbreaking when you've been training for months for something and then you just have to pull out because of unforeseen circumstances. One such thing happened to Japanese tennis star Naomi Osaka, who recently had to walk away from a game. And in today's video, we're going to be talking about exactly that. Let's dive in. First off, Osaka reduced to tears. The four-time Grand Slam champion's US Open preparations have come to a screeching halt. While competing in the first round of the Canadian Open against Estonia's Kaia Kanepi, she was clearly struggling and not at her best. She lost the first set 7-6 and was trailing 3-0 in the second when she decided that she couldn't play through her back injury anymore. Even before that, she received treatment from her trainer, but it just didn't help. So she eventually had to retire and left the court in tears. We have to say, it was really sad seeing the world number 39 in this state. She's an incredible player, and knowing how committed she is to the game, the last thing she would have wanted to do is give her opponent a walkover. But sometimes you just can't control these things. If she'd continue playing, she would have sustained an even more serious injury, and no one wants that. Thankfully, fans immediately rallied to support her and told her that she should keep her head up and just keep going. So what did the former world number one have to say about this incident? According to the WTA, Naomi said that she'd been feeling her back from the start of the match, and despite trying her best to push through it, she just wasn't able to play today. She also credited her opponent for playing well and wished her all the best for the rest of the tournament. She later went on to Twitter and said, "Today is just really not a good day." And we see where she's coming from. Not only did she have to leave in the middle of the game, her idol Serena Williams also announced that she was going to retire after the US Open. No wonder Naomi wasn't really feeling good. But here's the thing, the GOAT of tennis is choosing to evolve away from the sport. This is as good a time as any for young guns like Naomi, Coco Gauff, and Emma Raducanu to step up and claim the throne. As they say, the show must go on. Yes, this injury must have been super frustrating, but we're sure that she'll come back from this even stronger. And this isn't the first time she's dealing with injuries this year. In fact, this year has been really difficult for the Japanese superstar. She had to withdraw from the semifinals of the Melbourne Somerset 1 tournament in January because of an abdominal injury. That one was especially devastating because many thought that she was going to go all the way and claim the trophy for herself. Plus, she couldn't even compete at tennis's most prestigious tournament, Wimbledon, due to an Achilles injury. We can't even imagine how difficult it must have been to have to watch her peers compete at the All England Club while she was at home trying to recover from her injury. Also, we're sure splitting with her longtime coach Wim Fissett wasn't easy either. And let's not forget about the heckling incident. That time, a fan heckled her at Indian Wells and she broke down in tears. But before this most recent setback at the Canadian Open, things were finally looking better for her. She did really well at the Mubadala Silicon Valley Classic last week, where she managed to reach the last 16 before crushing out against Gauff. But despite the loss, there were a lot of positives to take from that game, and Naomi knew that. After the match, she said that when she was playing the match, she realized that she's been letting people call her mentally weak for so long that she forgot who she was. The Japanese superstar then said that while she lost the match, she feels really confident in who she is. She added that she feels like the pressure doesn't beat her and that "I am the pressure." She even tweeted a few days ago that she feels really at peace with herself and that she never thought she'd ever feel like this. We really hope she doesn't take this defeat to heart and continues her progress, because let's face it, the world of tennis needs her. When she's at her best, she is really a treat to watch. And she's also kind of an inspiration for every single one of us. You may remember that last year, she withdrew from the French Open and bravely admitted that she's been dealing with serious mental health issues. She added that she'd been suffering long bouts of depression ever since winning her first Grand Slam in 2018. After this, she faced a lot of unnecessary and unjustified criticism from people all around the world. To her credit, she focused on getting better and seems to be in a much better place right now. Plus, her statement led to more and more people in tennis talking about mental health, and we cannot stress enough how important that is. Even in this age, talking about these problems has a certain stigma around it, and that should just not be the case at all. It should go without saying that taking care of yourself should come before anything and everything. We're really proud of her, and we hope she knows we're all rooting for her. Here's hoping she recovers from her injury soon and we see her competing at Flushing Meadows later this month. Fingers crossed. And now it's time to move on to some other related news. First off, Serena Williams loses to Belinda Bencic. In her first match since announcing her retirement, the legendary athlete was facing Belinda Bencic in the second round of the Canadian Open. Unfortunately, she ended up losing her last professional game in Montreal 6-2 and 6-4. Throughout the game, the 23-time Grand Slam winner had the full backing of the crowd, and understandably, she even received a standing ovation. Following the match, the 40-year-old said that obviously she was feeling a lot of emotions. She expressed that she loves playing here and she's always loved it. She added that she wishes she could have played better but accepted that her opponent was just too good on the day. Finally, Serena added, "As I said in the article, I'm terrible at goodbyes. But goodbye, Toronto. We don't know about you, but we really can't imagine the world of tennis without her. Hopefully, she'll have a great run on her final Grand Slam in New York and she'll leave the sport in a blaze of glory." Yeah, it may sound too good to be true right now, but stranger things have happened. And come on, this is the Serena Williams we're talking about. If anyone can pull this off, it's her. Next, Nick Kyrgios said he's not getting carried away before US Open. The Aussie megastar has been on a roll recently. After reaching the final of a Grand Slam for the first time last month, he continued his good form and won the Washington Open. And next, he defeated the world #1, Daniil Medvedev, in the second round of the Canadian Open. But it appears that he's not letting all this success get to his head. He said that a Grand Slam is much different than any other tournament and said that if they were facing off in a major, things might have turned out to be very different. He praised the Russian and called him the best player in the world. He added that he feels confident in his body and his mentality, but there's still a lot of time to go until the US Open starts. He expressed that he just has to focus on this event and then Cincinnati, which is why he isn't even going to think about the final slam of the year. Finally, Djokovic lacking support from fans. As you may know, Noel's year has been pretty much defined by his decision to not get the COVID-19 vaccine, and it really doesn't look like he's going to be able to play the US Open. While there has been quite some pressure on US President Joe Biden to give the Serbian superstar an exemption, the chances of that happening look pretty slim right now. Also, it's not like fans are rallying behind him either. In a recent poll conducted by Express Sport, a whopping 60% voted against him and said that he should not be allowed to compete in New York if he stays unvaccinated. While he certainly has his supporters because there's no shortage of anti-vax conspiracy nuts out there, most people seem to agree with the government's decision to disallow the player from entering the country. As for us, we believe that safety always comes first. If he can't muster up the courage and do the sensible thing, both he and his fans should accept the consequences. That's a wrap for this video. What are your thoughts on Naomi Osaka's difficult 2022? Let us know in the comments below. Make sure to give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel for more videos like this. Goodbye for now and see you in the next one.